Hello everybody, welcome to Robert's train set, and what you've just seen is my 395 Javelin train under the control of the DR5000. I just wanted to try this because if you remember in my past videos with the RAILMASTER and eLINK, this seemed to go very slow and it wouldn't seem to accelerate to what you would expect it to do. So what you saw in that picture just now was at 100 speed steps, and obviously the DR5000 works on speed steps and not on miles per hour like Hornby RAILMASTER, although you can do speed steps in Hornby RAILMASTER, and I have, but they don't recommend it, which I don't quite understand. So this is running around now at, I believe, 55 speed steps, so as you can see it's reasonably slow. And it's running lovely, and this is part 2 of changing from RAILMASTER to iTRAINS. I hope you saw the first episode. If you didn't, it might be worth watching. I would make an apology, I did do an apology on that for the sound quality, but having watched it back on YouTube, I seem to have gained a very red suntan from somewhere. Now all I can put it down to is the new webcam. I don't know. So this time I'm recording myself on my camcorder. So at the end of the last one, or somewhere through the last one, I said about using Z21 app on my tablet. So I've had a bit more of a look into this, and just superficially looking at it, it looks like it's quite a complicated process for getting it to work with the DR5000. That isn't withstanding then having to set up the Z21 app to actually do your trains, you know, putting layout in and all that. Seems to me like a lot of work I'd do for, okay, not no gain, but not a lot of gain at this stage of what I'm doing. So at the moment I'm quite happy now to run it on the DR5000 when I want to run a train, as in now. But what I've come up here to do today is, first of all, I've taken the trains off that were in the first episode, and as I say, I put the 395 on, just really to try it, and I ran it at full 126 speed steps, and it was shifting around quite well. Makes a lot of noise, but it shifted around quite well. So pleased with that. In a minute I'll show you the screen that I've got up, but if you remember from the last one, if you watched it far enough through, I know they're quite long, I'm hoping this one will be shorter. I had trouble with the points, didn't I? I didn't know what point was what and what wasn't. So I've come up here primarily to sort that out, and I've worked out how to get more than the 16 points that I had, or lights that I had on the last go in the last video. So I'm going to show you that, and then show you what I propose to do to sort out knowing what point is what number, because it's very misleading on RAILMASTER plan that I had. So I'm going to move the camera and just show you first of all the computer screen. So bear with me. So here's the DR5000 doing its usual flashing lights at me, and seems to be working very well. Great fun. One of the things I do need to sort out is where I'm going to mount this. You do need to really get at it, I believe. Obviously if you have a short circuit you've got to push the red button. And also, you know, I've got to connect all these links into it eventually, haven't I? So anyway, we'll move back to the computer screen. So here we are back at the new computer screen. It was really strange leaving the old one downstairs when I'm running trains. And this at the moment is running on batteries, which I'm finding really strange as well. Although we'll have to keep an eye on the battery. Well, it says I've got 6 hours and 24 minutes left, so that seems right. So I'm running one train, but I've got 2 control panels up. Any ideas why, anybody? If you don't know, the motor unit on this train and the trailing unit on this train both have decoders. Obviously the motor unit to control the motor and the lights, and the rear motor car, non-powered, just for the lights. So that's why I've got 2 of these up. So as you can see, it's fairly straightforward. To get more than one control panel up, you just click on the next, you click on the representation of the DR5000, which is perched behind, and if I click, it will come to the front. So I found that you don't even need to go to here. You can just click on these, and that will bring another one up. There you are. Now, I'm sure I'm teaching everybody something they already know, so I do apologise for that, but if you're new or you want to see what it's about, hopefully this will help as simply as I can. So we'll get rid of that one. And what I'm interested to find out is what happens if I turn these off. Will the train carry on running, or will it stop? So I'll turn this one off first, because this is the lights, and I'll see if the lights are still on. Give you a good indication of whether the other one will stop. No, the lights are still on that one, so I should, by rights, be able to click this off, and it will carry on, and it does. So, if you remember, I wanted to do the points, didn't I? And you push that and you get this up. So what we now need is another one of these with different numbers on, isn't it? And in fact, if you look at that, that does actually now go up to 32, but it starts at 17. So if I do another switch one, and in here, just take this down, it goes to 1, and there we are. So it's all very simple when you know, isn't it? So I've now got my 32 up. Now whether that will be enough, I don't know. But what I intend to do now is I'm going to stop this train somewhere out of the way, and I'm going to go through all of these buttons and see which one they actually operate. Now to do that, it's no good doing that unless I make a record. So this morning I managed to get my printer onto this computer, which is fairly straightforward, and I went into iTRAINS and I printed out this. So I've got that in front of the screen. So I've got an A4 layout of what I did in iTRAINS. And what I propose to do, and I won't bore you with showing you me doing it all, is I'm just going to go round with these buttons, click them and see what point or what light reacts, and then write them onto here, because I will need that to enter them into iTRAINS on this panel that we've got. So hope that clarifies what we're doing. I'm not saying I will not use a Z21 app on this layout. I just feel it's a lot of work to understand how the Z21 works, to set it up, for not a lot of gain, because at the end of the day I'm hoping that when iTRAINS is running I can just use it on my tablet anyway. So we'll see how we go, because I bought the one that does allow you to do that, I believe. So we'll leave it at this, and I'll come back to you when I've had a go at all these points. And it's a little bit chilly here, but it's comfortable for me, but probably not for other people. Okay, everybody. Well, I hope you can hear me over the sound of the 395 walloping around. But if I just pan these round, you can see I've now written all my numbers, and I do in fact have 32 operational points and lights, so that's worked out lovely. I managed to switch number 13 here and number 16 here to get the 395 on the centre track, so I shall now show you that. So here it comes, here she comes, if I can follow her quick enough. Wow, that's a bit different. That is going it now, and that's at full 126 speed steps. I'm really happy with that. So I think it perhaps proves that there wasn't something quite right with the RAILMASTer and the eLINK, because that's the fastest I've had her going for quite a long time. So I'm quite happy with that. I hope you're not getting giddy. So this is her at 20 speed steps. As you can hear, it's very crackly. I tried it on 1 and 2 and it just doesn't seem to move, it just crackles at you. So it's probably, you know, the Hornby simple mechanism, I would think. I'm pretty sure that my better locos will work lovely at 1 or 2 speed steps. But it's running well, so I'm pleased with it. So I'm going to stop it and leave it on the main track. And you might notice, if I pan around a little bit, I've got my lights working. I've got that one there, the one over there is working, but you probably won't see it. And the 2 down here are working. I go in a little bit. There we are, red. And the one at the end of the platform. And I've also got the LED buffers in again. So, I'm doing this because I watched Stuart at St Mary's Church Model Railway doing the same thing with his ginormous layout, and I've tried this sort of thing with RAILMASTer, and the control of the trains was so different that it was very difficult. So at the moment the train is running around the 395 at 60 speed steps and the Ginty at about 57, 58, and it's all very, very controllable, as you can see now. So although the Javelin does actually in the end touch the Ginty, as you will see from the film that you just watched, it was all very gentle, no damage or anything. And then obviously I parted them and did a bit more of this. So I'm going to let this run. This is basically all that I took, and you can see what it looks like close up. I would tend to say that if you tailgate on the motorway, or anywhere else for that matter, in the car, this is what the people you're tailgating will see, and it's not very pleasant. So I hope you've enjoyed this far shorter video, and I'll come back to you nearer to the end. So I do hope you've enjoyed this video and this bit here with following the train around. I could never have done this really with all. I have tried it and it was very traumatic for the operator. So coming to the end of this one, please watch out for the next one, where I'm hoping to my track plan out that I did on iTRAINS. I did get a reply back from James at DC Train Automation, and he said it was all okay, but I think it does need to be refined a little bit and slightly sorted, I think. So cheers for watching, everybody. Watch out for that. I'm sure I'll find something else to add into it to make it a little bit more interesting, and I'll try and get some trains running as well. Cheers.